There's been a lot of talk in regards to Captain America's future in the MCU. We know that the mantle is going to continue to play a role down the road, but now we're here to talk about the Captain America himself, the original Steve Rogers, played by Chris Evans, and whether he would return down the road and him teasing a possibility of returning. So we're in that weird transitional period for Marvel Studios where some of the top characters have already been retired, like Iron Man, like Captain America. And obviously new characters are coming in, and there's going to be some characters from Phase 1 and Phase 2 that stay over and they're going to continue to live on in this universe for the foreseeable future. Now, recently in an interview with Variety, I believe, which I will link in the description down below for you guys, Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson talk about their careers and reflect on them. And he specifically gets asked about Captain America, the possibility of returning down the road, and here's what he had to say. To Marvel, you never say never. I love the character. I don't know. It's not a hard no, but it's not an eager yes either. There are other things that I'm working on right now. I think Cap had such a tricky act to stick the landing, and I think they did a really nice job letting him complete his journey. If you're going to revisit it, it can't be a cash grab. It can't be just because the audience wants to be excited. What are we revealing? What are we adding to the story? A lot of things would have to come together. So again, it's right there, right? It's not a definitive no, and I think that's the big one. And as he talks about it, he's working on other things. We've known for a while that he's considered leaving Hollywood as an actor and wants to transition over into directing. And as I've said before on this channel, as many people have when we talk about it on the podcast, we believe that at some point he's going to come back and direct stuff for Disney. More than likely on the Disney Plus side of things, and he's going to try to see what he can do. You know, you can look at other actors from famous TV shows that have done just that, like Riker, for example, from Star Trek The Next Generation. I'll have to use him because I love that show and he was my favorite character. So, you know, this does happen. And as he says, right now, he's not eager to because, let's be real, he just spent a decade playing this character, and obviously that takes a toll on your body, the workouts, and if you guys read, like, you know, his fitness things, he hated working out. He doesn't like, but he would have to pack on all that muscle and, you know, like, be away from family, and it takes a lot of your time. So right now, he's wrapped up a decade of his life. He's looking to go somewhere else in a different direction. And as he says, it has to be a story that services what happened, and it can't just be a cash grab. So again, I think they're looking at this like something down the road. If it happens, if it services a story, if it makes sense, we can make that work. So for example, you know, what if they do a secret empire, right? It's like a multiverse thing and they end up in it. Of course, Chris Evans is going to reprise his role as Captain America and they're going to pay him his dues and he'll show up as the Hydra version of Cap. So this is something that I think they're going to play with, and I wouldn't bet on it anytime soon, but I think, you know, 8 to 10 years from now, maybe in another multiverse film, or when Secret Wars happens, I think at that point, you could probably bring him back and, you know, play around with the idea of Captain America living in this universe as a different version, or maybe even the same one. Although we probably don't want to see old Steve returning in that weird way. He retired that life, so that'd be a little weird. So, yeah, I think, you know, the way he says it, if the story makes sense, he'll come back. Kind of like Hugh Jackman for Logan, right? He was like, I'm done, guys. And they're like, Logan. And then he read the script. He was like, yeah, this is good. I'll actually come back for this. That would make sense.